Today on One Giant Leap, I want to share with you something that guides us all that most people aren't aware of. So the thing that guides us throughout our life is our identity. It unconsciously helps us make decisions whether we should or shouldn't go for an opportunity. Our identity is the picture that we create for who we feel we are, how we rank ourselves in the world. And it comes from our upbringing, from our parents, our schooling, and our time as a young adult. We form a picture for what we think our worth is to the world and where we feel what type of person, what type of thing that we think we're good at. We'll create an identity as a father, as a husband, as a sports player, as a marketer, as a salesperson, as a leader. I have an identity in all those different areas. In fact, I've got an identity as a horticulturist. My identity as a horticulturist tells me that I'm only good for growing grass. And the evidence of this is my garden. It's only got grass in it. Now, whenever I look at other people's gardens, my identity says, you're not one of those people, you're not a gardener, Jeff. So you can't go and grow those nice plants. So if I was to want to shift that identity of myself, I need to get into a different environment. Maybe I go to the Chelsea Flower Show. I start talking to people about their gardens more often and asking questions. Maybe going to garden centres, watch some videos, read a book, and I would start to shift my identity as a gardener to the point where I would feel confident to take some action. And this is the second step, which is really important. I would then take action. If I take action on that, I start to grow some beautiful flowers. My identity as a gardener, as a horticulturist will shift. And it's same with business owners. One of the joys of what I do is I see people shift their identity. Often people have an identity really as an employee in their own business. They talk about themselves taking annual leave. And they feel quite comfortable about a sort of a salary from the business that's not often dissimilar to what their parents earn. Because the money mindset, the money identity is another thing that we need to shift as a client. And it's really important because as a business grows, I start working with clients, their profits grow, their business grows, and their kind of identity says they're kind of comfortable with a £50,000, £60,000 salary out of the business. But all of a sudden there's £250,000, £300,000 there, and they feel uncomfortable with it. Often they don't take it. And it's really important to start to shift this because sometimes people will actively repel money and sabotage their businesses if their identity they don't change their identity, they don't step into the identity of a wealthy person. And often I recommend to people that get yourselves into an environment, talk to people about investing money. If you're in London, go and have tea at the Ritz. You don't have to go for the 3-course meal that costs £500. Just go into the reception, have a cup of tea. Get involved in that kind of more luxurious atmosphere so you start to shift your identity. So identities can shift over time. They shift through environment and they shift through action, through trial and error and learning. So it's really important for people to start leaning into areas where they feel like their identity tells them they shouldn't go. Because on the other side of that barrier is all sorts of fun stuff. If you'd like to talk to me about this, I'd love it if you reached out to me and we could get on a phone call and we could talk about your identity and how it could be holding you back and how you can shift it.